Okay, I think I'm live. I hope I am, because YouTube is giving me some weird error. So I hope you can see me, you can hear me fine, and the video is showing well. So welcome to another YouTube live scrapbooking session on the Pinkfresh Studio channel. Today we are going to create a layout with the beautiful summery Sunshine on My Mind collection. And I will show you in a second what I have prepared. Yeah, if you could let me know if you are seeing the video fine and everything is working well, that would be very helpful to kind of calm my mind. So yeah, hi Heather. Heather is joining behind the Pinkfresh Studio name. She is going to be moderating today. And she's also going to pick a winner at the end of the session who is going to win a $15 gift card to the Pinkfresh Studio shop. All you have to do is be active in the chat. So ask questions, let us know if you shared this video on Instagram, Facebook, wherever you like. And yeah. Oh yeah, thank you. So to those who already told me they can see me, thank you, Laura. Hi, Debbie, Louise, Esther. Perfect. Okay, then I don't know what kind of problem YouTube has with me today, but as long as you can see me, I'm happy and hear me. So yeah, I'm going to switch my camera and show you what I have prepared so far. Okay. So I have these photos here. I'm not going to use all three because, as you can probably tell, although they are all pool photos, they are not, from the same day or moment or whatever. And I also have, I have the Sunshine on My Mind collection here. But more importantly, I kind of wanted to focus on the stamp, die, and stencil set that was also designed in, coordinating with this collection. Because I think it's really fun when we have coordinating stamps for a scrapbooking collection. Obviously, you can also use the stamp set for card making, but I wanted to use it on today's layout as well. So I already went ahead and prepared a few things because I usually don't really get to finish a layout in these lives. And if I have to do stenciling and die cutting and stamping and heat embossing and, putting together a layout, that's not going to work in an hour. So I had to prepare those things. But I am going to show you real quick what I used for that. So you get there's the Sunshine on My Mind stamp set with the same florals that are also in some of or at least one of the papers. Let me see if I can grab it. So you can see this floral right here, for example, or this flower is the same one as this. And these small ones are also repeated in this paper and, obviously the leaves. So it works really well with the papers and the collection in general, but also has some fun sentiments: relax and have fun, hey sunshine, live in the sunshine, and live your life in full bloom, which I think are great sentiments also for scrapbooking. And then you get the coordinating die, which is one piece for the florals and the leaves, which I love because you don't have to line up 1,000 different dies. And then one die for the Hey Sunshine sentiment. And then there's also a coordinating stencil set consisting of 5 stencils, layering stencils. So you get 2 to 3 layers per flower or leaf. So what I did was I first heat embossed. So I stamped this whole thing 4 times. 3 times on white cardstock and 1 time on vellum. And then I heat embossed all of these. So I stamped with clear embossing ink and then heat embossed all of them with white detail embossing powder. And then I did, so the vellum I kept as it is. I didn't do any stenciling on that because I wanted this to be a subtle accent. And then I did 1 sheet of flowers in kind of yellow-orange, then 1 sheet in orange, and, you know, also the small flowers as well. And then another sheet in pink. And I changed the greens that I used as well. So you can see here I used, so for the yellow and pink flowers, for example, I used, let me check, I used mint and meadow, I think. And then for the more turquoise greens here on those leaves, I used aquamarine, mermaid cove, and tidal pond. But I'm also going to link all of the inks that I used in the description later. So I so far there's just a link to the Pinkfresh Studio inks in general, but I will list the exact names of inks that I used after this live as well. So that's what I did. So I have, you know, 4 of each, 3 times with stenciling and then once just on vellum. And I think they turned out really great. And they are a perfect, this is a perfect set, stamp and stencil set to kind of practice the whole layering stencil thing because it's fairly easy to line up, I would say. And it's quite forgiving. So you can see that these details, for example, they are, you know, there's not an exact spot where they have to be. So if, you know, you move your stencil a little bit and it's not always the same, it's not as obvious as with some other stamp images, if you know what I mean. So yeah. So let me check. If you have any questions, please leave them also in the chat and I try to get back to you. If not, Heather can also join in. So that's what I have prepared. As I said, I didn't want to do it live because it takes a lot of time, or at least, you know, doing 4 of these does take quite some time, and then putting together a layout as well. And I wanted to actually finish a layout for once in one of these lives. So another idea that I had was I want to incorporate frames in some way. So there's this paper here, Best Summer, which has all of these Polaroid style frames. So that was my first idea. So I went ahead and cut some of them out, just, you know, with a pair of scissors and an X-Acto knife. So I cut out the frame, and then I also cut out the inside, so the picture in the frame, so that I would have, you know, an open frame that I could use as an embellishment. So I went ahead and cut out like this large one here, and then 2 small ones. So I also have the insides that I can use later. And there's also, for example, this one here is from the die cut set. So I had these, and I have these where I haven't, you know, cut out the inside yet because I'm not sure if I will actually use those, but that was another thing that I prepared. And then as for frames, another frame that I prepared was this one here, the scalloped edge. So there's 2 different die sets here. One's the mini slimline stitched scallop rectangle die, and then this is the stitched scallop square die. So I don't want to use all of the frames together, but I wanted to have options because I wasn't really sure which ones to use. Oh, thank you, Louise. Yeah, I think they look, so there's also, in this collection, you also get So you get the regular ephemera pack, and then you also get a floral ephemera pack. And you can see that some of them are actually the flowers that you get in the stamp set as well. So these are a perfect addition to the stenciling and stamping. So as I said, I wanted to have options. I wasn't sure which photos I wanted to use. This photo would work really well with this mini slimline stitched scallop die. But then I wasn't sure how to do the rest of the layout, how to fill the page. So I could do something like this and just have like a really, really tropical floral kind of burst frame and have all of these flowers surrounding the frame, which would look really cool and just make I think it would make the photo pop. And then another idea with these frames. So I'm showing you those two options again, because as I said, I'm not sure which one I want to use. So I kind of have to look at them again myself to actually decide on what to do next. So here my idea was to fill maybe just one frame with a photo. And then the other two frames with my die cut flowers or my stenciled flowers. Something like this. And then, bring in some of the ephemera as well. Something like that. Something like this, and then, do maybe some ink blending behind the frames. But, I'm not too sure on what to do. Because I feel like I kind of really want to use this scallop frame in this mini slimline version with this photo, because it just works so well, I think. So I'm kind of leaning towards the other one, but then again, doing this with the flowers surrounding, I'm not sure if that's something that you want to see. So I'm going to, because I prepared so much already, I am confident that this time I can finish a layout in the live session. So I'm actually going to go ahead and try this, put a few more things on, see if I like it. And if not, I'm going to switch gears and actually do this version. So I'm just going to try it, see if I like where this is going. And maybe because I have these flowers, and I already showed you that they are the same flowers that are in this paper. Oh, thank you, Laura, that you like listening to my decision making, because that's actually the part that I'm sometimes a bit worried about, if people are getting a bit annoyed with all of my explaining and thinking and, So I was thinking that maybe cutting down the white cardstock a little bit to have this as a frame. And even though you can't see the full flowers, I think you get the idea of the repetition of the florals. So I'm actually I am liking this. So maybe I will just do this in this live session and then leave this here for either, doing it on my own, or maybe I can do another process video that I can just upload later to my channel, and maybe show you the stenciling of these flowers again. like really show you how to do this whole stenciling thing, because I will need more flowers, because I will obviously use some on this page here. So I think, yep, I think that's what I'm gonna do. Decision is made. Okay. So I think I am going to go with this photo instead of this one. I don't want two, because I feel like either one or all three of the frames should have a photo. And just the small one is a bit too small for my taste. It kind of would be overpowered by the two larger frames with all of the florals. So I'm going to go with this one and do it, you know, put it in the center between the other two frames, because otherwise it would be a little bit unbalanced, I would say. So let me just put no, actually, I think I like the pop of pink in this third frame. Either the pink or the red, because it's also repeated in the pattern paper that I'm going to use as a frame. Okay, both. So as I said, I already decided I'm going to do another video where I'm going to use this photo, this mini slimline die, and I will show you the stenciling of this stamp set, and I will upload it, you know, in the coming days to my channel, and then you can see the stenciling of this set as well. So definitely gonna do it, because it was actually a lot of fun to do it. And then I can try out a few more color combinations that I had in mind. So it's a win-win for everyone. Okay, so I think I'm kind of good with this, you know, rough idea. So first of all, I'm going to trim down, or I'm going to cut off the manufacturer strip here. And then I'm going to gut this paper, because if I'm only going to use it as a frame, there's no need to waste the inside. So I'm keeping roughly an inch on each side so that I have enough space to glue my white cardstock, or to adhere my white cardstock to this piece, this frame. So this I can keep for, you know, another project. And then I'm going to cut, let's see. I'm going to start with 1/2 inch on both sides, so that I would have 1/4 inch frame. And we will see how this looks, or if I want more of the frame to be visible. Maybe just a smidge. Just, I think I'm going to cut 1/4 inch again on two sides. So in the end, I now have my white cardstock now measures 11¼ inches by 11¼ inches. So now I have this. Let's see if this pattern has a direction. I don't think so. Yeah, I think I'm good with that. I don't want too much of the paper showing, but I think that's just right. And I'm also going to, so I'm just going to use a little bit of tape runner here to adhere my white cardstock, because after this live, I'm definitely going to stitch around the border. I don't want to do it, during the live because my sewing machine is way over there. And this is something that I can easily do at the end, and that I normally do at the end when everything is, kind of said and done. So, and I also, so if you've watched some of my lives, you know that I never adhere anything or put adhesive right to the edge so that I can still flip things up, tuck things underneath. And this is exactly why. So I can now kind of, do this. It gives more dimension, gives a little bit of shadow. And when the stitching is added here, it will be even more visible. And I can also kind of tear it a little bit, which makes the pattern underneath a bit more visible. So yeah, and gives a bit more texture. Okay, so let's go ahead and what next? So I'm going to adhere this frame to my photo, because that's the one thing that I know for sure that I'm going to use as it is. Sorry if the camera is shaking a little bit. And I'm trying to get as much of the pool water without cutting off, my son or myself. And I did cut, so when I cut out this frame from the pattern paper, I did cut it a little bit wonky, but not to worry because, there's always a solution. Something like putting a leaf over this corner or this die cut here. So I'm not worried about this kind of wonky border. So either the red or the pink. I think I like the pink more than red. This would also work because now you have, all of the colors that appear in the paper surrounding the white cardstock in the frames. But I really like this pop of this bright blue, even though it's not in this paper here, but we will, I will use some embellishments that have this bright blue because I think it makes the page a little bit more interesting and makes it pop a little bit more. Yeah, I'm going to go with pink. I like the pink more. So let's add some foam tape on the back. I'm not taking off the backing yet. For me, it's always more helpful when I already put this foam adhesive on the back that I can see the dimension and kind of, try things out by tucking them underneath and so on. So it really helps me to have this, this foam adhesive on the back already. Okay. And same goes for the other two frames. So these will also be popped up, but I will need some foam squares. I think they are, let me check. No, these are 2-dimensional. And I'm not sure if you have like foam squares or foam dots that come like this in a sheet. Don't throw away, you know, I don't know what you would call that, but you know, the excess that's kind of around the actual foam dots or foam squares, because it's just the same material, and you can use that as and cut that up and use it as a foam adhesive as well. If you know what I mean. Not sure if I explained that well. So now I only need to add maybe one here so that the frame doesn't sag in that spot, and that's it. And then the same with this one. This one is a bit more tricky because the border is a little bit thinner. Oh, I'm all about the cost sharing, cost saving ideas, Lisa. I really hate wasting things. You know, for example, the white cardstock that I use for die cutting, if there's a piece left, or not even just white cardstock, any kind of cardstock, glitter cardstock, mirror cardstock, whatever, I always save it because you can still die cut something from it. Or if you have, in one of my lives, I also showed you that if you have some chipboard left from a project, if you do scrapbooking, for example, and mini albums and stuff like that, you can use those chipboard scraps as instead of foam adhesive, and you know, just use it to back your, let's say, the photo, for example, and you would have the same dimension, but you wouldn't need to use your foam adhesive. Obviously, if you have to use a lot of it on a page, it would make the page very heavy. So maybe just for a few things on the page, but still. I really hate wasting material. So that's it. Right now you can kind of see this foam adhesive showing, but since I will be adding some flowers and things on and behind the frames, I'm not too worried about that so far. So I can put the foam adhesive to the side for now. And let's see. So I definitely want to use this, I think this scripty summer die cut looks really nice. And maybe actually use it, you know, on top so that this wonky border is covered up. Let's do it. I'm going to put it so that half of it is kind of hanging off. Like this. What next? So let's see, for this bright blue frame, I already picked this tag from the die cuts. Let me check if there's another one. I don't think so. No, there's already quite a lot of green on this page, and there will be more green when I add the leaves. So I'm sticking with this blue piece. I'm going to add some foam behind it as well. maybe trade places. Yeah, I think this way is better, so that this part here, if I have it like this, it kind of covers up my photo. So I think this way around is better. And then so I don't want to do a tone on tone, even though I did blue on this blue frame and green on this green frame, but this was just, you know, kind of coincidence. I don't want to do tone on tone for this whole page. So I'm going to, I could, you know, I have pink flowers as well, so I could do another tone on tone, but I don't want to. I kind of want to mix all of the beautiful, bright colors. And as I said, there's also this pack of floral ephemera. So you could also look at that to see if there are any more leaves you could use, you know, because those give you different sizes of leaves. So this one was the one that I stenciled or stenciled and die cut, and it's the same one as this, but you get different sizes. So it's perfect to kind of, you know, have a bit more of a variety. And also maybe different, you know, tones of green. Or I could bring in my vellum. So I kind of wanted to have, in each cluster that I'm going to do, I want to have maybe one piece of vellum that I did to kind of soften things up a little bit and, you know, not make it too heavy, but still give a little bit more texture. So let's see this. These glasses would be really cute too, but I will leave that for later. So I'm going to see if I can already adhere the frames in place so that things don't move around all the time. And I like this orange on the blue, actually. So let's go ahead and adhere the frames, and then I can, you know, continue building my clusters. So for this one, I'm actually going to adhere the die cut to the back of the frame first, and then adhere it. Adding a few small foam squares behind the floral pieces to give more dimension, because I'm all about the dimension, especially when it comes to flowers and leaves. And I'm just going to eyeball it. I don't want it to be exactly in the center of this page. I want it to be slightly towards the top. I could use my T-square ruler, but, you know, nobody's got time for that. Yeah, I think that looks good. And now for this frame. And they have different, all of the frames have slightly different heights. So, you know, they don't, I could either do all of them on the same line or just have them like this. And since I will be adding more of those flowers on top, you won't even really, it won't be that noticeable, I would say. trying to leave, you know, roughly the same space between the frames. And if you are a little bit more perfectionist, you could definitely measure those things, but I usually just eyeball. So I'm good with that. Yeah, like this. And you know, I know normally it's a bit difficult to add something like foam adhesive behind vellum because it shows, but since I have this white embossing on it, and this one is, you know, has very tiny details, you won't even see the foam dot behind it. So I think I had the yellow flower behind the pink frame, like this. Or do I want it, let's see, do I want it like this? So that the leaves hang out to the other side. No. I'm usually not really, you know, an orange kind of girl. I often avoid orange, to be honest. But I gotta say that, especially this, so in comparison, these three flowers, I like this orange the most because I used, let's see. I think I used, for this one, I used a combination of orange and yellow, and I like this kind of yellow center. So yeah, I like how those turned out. Oh, hi, Kristen. So nice that you are joining us for the first time. I hope you are enjoying this live session, and I hope you will join more of our lives in the future. If you don't know, I'm not sure if you joined from, you know, at the beginning, if you already saw the beginning of this live session. So for everyone who's new here, at the end of this session, we are giving away a $15 gift card to the Pinkfresh Studio shop. And all you have to do is be active in the chat. So every time you post something in the chat is another entry to win or to be eligible to win. And at the end of the session, Heather is going to randomly pick a winner. So yeah. So not only do you get some, you know, some inspiration, but also a chance for some shopping money. So let's see. Before I add this, I want to add the orange flower, because if I forget, I might end up, you know, not having enough space for it. But I really like how this is looking. And I kind of like this, you know, going from bottom to top to bottom again, and have this kind of wave with the floral clusters and more foam adhesive. If you don't like this much dimension, you could definitely just, you know, adhere the flower straight to the frame, but I like it dimension, so. So let's see. Maybe have some of the pink here as well, because I feel like I would like to have the pink, because I have the pink frame here, I have the pink flower. So I think I would like to have one more pop of pink, and I think this large one is too much. So this is the only, and this is the same flower as this, so I don't want that. So I'm going to go for this. I don't know if this makes any sense to anyone else, but that's, you know, kind of my thinking when deciding on what to put where, or what to use, and so on. So let's see if this still fits. And if not, I can come up with something else. Actually works. But I won't glue this down just yet because I'm still thinking of maybe using, let's see, these small alpha stickers instead of the Love This on this tag, simply because I really, really like this Love This die cut. I love the font, the size, the phrase, and the color. So I'm kind of hesitant to use it on this page and want to save it for something else. I'm not sure if you sometimes have the same problem, that you have a die cut or whatever that you really want to use but want to have for something, but again also don't want to use because you want to kind of save it for something special. So yeah. So as I said in the beginning, I want to have at least one piece of the vellum on each frame. I don't think this leaf is working here. Or maybe use a combination of the love. Oh, I'm rambling. That's the same again. So another thing you can do, so I want leaves to stick out from underneath, but I don't want the flowers. So I'm actually going to cut this apart. And now I have the leaves. And I can save this flower and, you know, I can still use it and kind of tuck it underneath something else. So maybe, let's see if maybe I'm going to actually add more flowers under the photo, because that would actually make the photo stand out a little bit more if it had more flowers than the other frames. Yes, Kristen. So the frame here is a pattern paper. I don't really remember the name. And I already cut off the manufacturer strip. Could be Sweetest Summer. And I trimmed down, or I gutted the paper. You know, this is the inside, and then I put the white cardstock on top, and I cut the white cardstock down to 11¼ by 11¼ inches. Yes. Okay. Yeah, Louise, I know what you mean, but I gotta be honest with, so for example, with papers, I usually don't get duplicates, apart from maybe like design team products, because we sometimes need more because we make so many projects with the same collection. But if I'm buying a collection, I rarely buy something, you know, twice, because I kind of, I don't know, I think, or it happened to me in the past that I saved things, you know, for a special occasion, for a special photo, a special something. And then it, you know, I had it for years and years in my stash. And then when I looked at it, it kind of, I don't know, it didn't really appeal to me anymore. It wasn't my style anymore. So it was a shame that I didn't get to use those things when I still liked them, if you know what I mean. So so this is why I'm kind of telling myself now to just use what I like, because seeing it actually used on a project actually makes me happier than, you know, still having it in my stash, if that makes sense. But with this, no, that was stupid. I cut off the top. Anyway, but with this die cut, for example, it's just that I know that I will have to create more projects with this collection. So this is why I'm kind of keeping it. But apart from that, I'm, you know, I kind of moved to a more use it if you like it kind of mindset. So what I was saying before, the problem is with using these alpha stickers here on the label, the way I, intended to spell out love this or something, is it doesn't really pop off the same way, because obviously this piece has a white border and then these alpha stickers don't. So it's kind of blue on blue, doesn't really show up that nicely. So that doesn't work out. I'm going to check the rest of the die cuts to see if there's anything else that I can add. And I also have some puffy stickers and cardstock stickers. And there's also a set of vellum, not vellum, acetate ephemera, which is really fun, but it doesn't work on this frame. So I won't be able to use it here. But you could also, so there are some titles and some flowers and leaves included. So you could also incorporate the leaves, for example. And I agree, Kristen. So use it when it's fresh. And I gotta say that sometimes when I start with, the things that I love the most in a collection, it actually makes creating with this collection a lot easier and inspires me. I don't know how to explain it, but sometimes maybe it's because I end up with a project that I really love, because obviously it has products on it that I really love. And maybe this gives me kind of it's kind of like a success, so to speak. So I am thinking if I want to have floral cluster down here, but I think that's too much. And if I had planned ahead a little bit more, I would actually have used this. So this is from journaling bits. I would either have glued this down to create a pocket so that I could tuck this behind it, or use it behind a frame, but it's too late for that now. But just as an idea, if you want to recreate this page or make something similar, then you could kind of make one of those frames into a pocket. Oh, the puffy stickers are my favorite in this collection. The puffy stickers are adorable, especially the ice creams, and I love the font of those phrases here. So yeah, these are great. So what I'm thinking now is, so there's this sunshine on here, and the blue alpha stickers would actually pop on this part. So I could spell out, instead of using this yellow hey, I could spell out hey with the blue, and then I would kind of spell, or say hey summer sunshine, which isn't like a real sentence, but still kind of makes sense, I would say. Let's try it. I can take it off if I don't like it, so it's all good. The only thing, so most of the stickers are, if you don't stick them down like all the way, they are fairly easy to peel off again. The only thing that you don't want to stick down without being 100% sure that you want them there are the chipboard stickers from Pinkbrush Studio, because once they are on for good. Louise, no, I usually don't add more adhesive to stickers. No, because I don't know, I haven't had it happen to me that stickers fell off. Maybe just on like really old projects when I had them, because my room gets a lot of sun, like direct sun. So this kind of dries out the adhesive, but still, I don't really feel the need to add more. So no. So let's see. I have, the way I have it now is I have mostly all of the colors on all of the frames. So I have yellow and kind of orange, pink, green, and blue on this one. I have all of those colors here. And then here I'm only missing like the yellow and the blue, but I can easily fix that by adding some enamel dots. Lisa, that's correct. There is going to be a scrapbooking holiday event, or well, not really an event in the way we had a scrapbooking event the last 2 times with like 5 instructors, the whole weekend and so on. But there is going to be a smaller holiday event. And I know I can say it because Kinneri already said it in some lives, or kind of, teasered it. So I believe more info about that will be coming very, very soon. I'm not sure if Heather knows more about when to expect news about that, but there will be more soon. That's what I definitely, know. And even though I really like, I do like the tone-on-tone embellishing, but with this collection, it's also really fun to just mix and match all of the colors and, make it, because it kind of fits with this whole colorful, bright, fun feel of the collection, I would say. And in this collection, you get 2 different sets of enamel dots. Not sure if you saw that. So there's the regular shiny enamel dots. And then this time there's also matte enamel dots, which are really cool. Heather, I'm only seeing the comment that you said, I'm trying to comment and chat isn't working. Or did that work now? I'm just going to sprinkle, a few enamel dots here and there. And I know that I will definitely add some more after this live session and can maybe move some, because I don't know, with enamel dots, I'm a little bit, I don't know what you would call it, particular. Is that what you would say? That I kind of like them to be just right, but it needs some time and some moving around and figuring out to see where they are actually right. So expect those enamel dots to be moved. So I'm, as I said, I will probably add more enamel dots, but I will keep that for after this live session because I need some time to hem and haw about that. But I'm still thinking of doing some more flowers underneath my photo. And maybe leaves. Nope. So don't want the same orange. That's a bit tough. I don't know. I'm still looking for the right one, but I feel like it actually would make, make this frame a little bit heavier, so to speak, and kind of hold your eyes more to this frame than the others. So for acetate embellishments, it depends a little bit, on how and where I want to glue them. I either use this Nuvo Deluxe adhesive or like glue dots. I have these micro glue dots, really tiny ones. And then I usually, so let's say I wanted to glue this down, I would usually put the glue dots behind a colored part and a more solid part instead of the actual, transparent part, so that it's not as visible. And if I have, if I put it down like this, obviously there's no way to hide it. But if I, let's say, wanted to adhere this to my page and have it kind of peeking out from behind a frame, then I would only put adhesive where I can hide it. I hope that helps. So let's see, I have this flower left. That was the flower that I cut off from those leaves. So here you can see what I mean. So here I'm actually going to use some liquid adhesive that will be hidden by the frame, and then one foam dot that I'm going to use behind this embossed center, because it's the least visible there, I would say. Cindy, yes, the pieces that I showed just a few seconds ago, these are all acetate ephemera pieces. Yeah. And they are really fun, and actually, when you put them on white cardstock, for example, it makes the colors really pop, and it's just a really fun embellishment, I would say. And different, I think there have been some in the past, some collections that had acetate embellished ephemera, if I'm not completely mistaken. But it's not something that we get in every collection. And this acetate is actually really, I don't know, sturdy, I would say. So they are not flimsy. You can see that they hold their shape really well. So, yeah. So I think I'm going to go with something like this. So I have, behind my photo, I have more flowers, on the top and bottom, so that the focus is more on this frame. Just putting some foam dots behind those pieces. And I see Heather already picked the winner. So Irene Smith, congratulations. You are today's $15 gift card winner. All you have to do is email leah@pinkfreshstudio.com with, to claim your prize. And then you can go shopping in Pink Fresh store. So congratulations. I'm almost done. So there's not much more that I'm going to add to this page. I would probably, try out a few more stickers and maybe embellishments in and around the frames. But other than that, and I will add my stitching. So that's definitely something that's going to be added. But other than that, I'm, pretty much done. I might do another title. So even though this is kind of, Hey Summer Sunshine could work as a title, but I feel like having something underneath here, or maybe add some journaling strips. So this is something that will go in this space here. But other than that, this is, I would say this page is like 90 to 95% finished, which is, I think is good. I hope it's, I hope it's not too frustrating to never see a completely finished page from me in my lives, but I think the most important part is done. So let me switch my camera so I can say goodbye. Okay, so as I said, I hope you enjoyed today's live. even though it's, again, not 100% finished. And I already mentioned before that I am going to do another process video, but not as live, with this photo, this frame, and the, let me grab it, the stamp and stencil set, so I can show you how to do this layered stenciling on this set, which is really fun. So yeah, be on the lookout for that, and I hope you have a great day, evening, wherever you are. And next week it's going to be Natalie again, with another YouTube live, and I will see you in 2 weeks. So thank you everyone for joining. Hope you have a great day, and take care everyone. Bye.